Hello everybody, it is I, CM Freeze, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys right now. I am tired. I am so damn tired. I did not want to make this video, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna stick it out. This is going to be, everyone's already clicked off the video. I know it. You're like, shut up and just tell me all the Hawks information I want to know for the few people that are watching. You know what? I'm gonna make this video for my channel's sake. This video is, what do I want the Atlanta Hawks to do in free agency? This video will also go over kind of just a little summary of the Atlanta Hawks so far as well. Free agency officially, negotiations begin Sunday. That's when this video is going to come out. I'm recording it Saturday night. I wanted to make this video right after the draft. The draft was a 2-day event. It was Wednesday and Thursday. However, Friday was my father's birthday, and today I went to a baseball game. So, I'm now here after the game, tired as tired can be, but I want to give this quick little video basically just going over what the Atlanta Hawks should do in free agency and what I think they are going to do. Now, first and foremost, the Atlanta Hawks did just trade DeAndre Murray. They traded DeAndre Murray for 2 first-round picks, Dyson Daniels and Larry Nance Jr. I made a little short on that trade, but basically, I think it's pretty much of a wash of the trade we did make for DeAndre Murray. We traded 3 first-round picks for DeAndre Murray and a pick swap in 2026. Basically, we broke even. We got our 2025th and a 2027th first-round pick back, and we got Dyson Daniels, who was a first-round pick 2 years ago. So now that the only thing we're now really losing out on is the 2026 first round pick, but it's a pick swap. So we're still going to get a pick. We're just going to get the worst pick between us and the Spurs. And now in 2027, we don't get our pick. We get the worst pick between the Pelicans and the Bucks. So we're still probably going to be losing draft positional value, but we aren't at least losing any draft picks. We still will have first-round picks in 2025, 2026, and 2027. In fact, in 2025, we could potentially have 2 first-round picks. We will be getting a first-round pick from the Sacramento Kings if their pick is not top 12. It is top 12 protected, but as long as they make the playoffs or are the first or second bubble team out of it, we will be getting either pick 13 or pick 14 from them. Now, on screen here is the Atlanta Hawks' current roster with their salary cap. The Hawks right now are actually, surprisingly, I didn't realize how many teams actually go over the salary cap. The Atlanta Hawks have the 12th best cap situation, and they are still negative $48 million over the cap tax. I saw that the Minnesota Timberwolves are negative $120 million over the tax. Now, for those of you that don't know how the NBA tax works, it is a soft tax league, so you can go over the tax, just you will pay a luxury tax on it, which is a very weird calculation. Basically, for every dollar you go over the salary cap, you are being forced to pay an extra percentage of that salary cap to the league. So you're paying more money than just for example, the Minnesota Timberwolves, the 120 extra million they are spending. Percentage of that is also going to the league. So in reality, they're paying like $150 million instead of $120 million. The Atlanta Hawks are a team that do not like to be over the salary cap limit. First thing the Atlanta Hawks need to do is trade Clint Capella. They need to trade Clint Capella. I'm surprised the trade hasn't already happened. DeAndre Murray was the first piece. Clint Capella is going to be the second piece. Clint Capella needs to get traded. He is on the last year of his contract, and he's making $22 million. 1 year, $22 million deal. Clint Capella needs to go. I'd honestly take anything for him. For John Collins, I know he kind of got fleeced and only gave up a second-round pick for him, but let's be 100% serious. Let's be real. If this is our roster, if this stays our roster and we don't make any changes, we're not making a deep playoff run. Maybe we can make it as the 7 or the 8 seed again, but let's be real here. Let's look at this roster. Are we going to be making a deep playoff run? No. Clint Capella's on the last year of his contract. Might as well trade him away and get something out of him, even if it's just a second-round pick. We still will have Big Double O as center, and something else I'd like to talk about is that we could still sign a center in free agency as well. But Clint Capella needs to get traded. The only other move I would potentially make is maybe you trade Larry Nance Jr. or just straight up cut him. Or also there is DeAndre Hunter. What's going to happen with him as well? He could be traded as well. He's a little bit harder to trade because I think he has 3 years left on his contract. That's a lot of money there too. I also tried my hardest to find an updated depth chart for the Atlanta Hawks on the internet. I couldn't. I swear to God, I tried my hardest to find an updated depth chart for the Atlanta Hawks. It wasn't anywhere. So I had to make one myself on PowerPoint. So as you can see here, a team's allowed 15 men on the roster. I put our 13 players that are actually on our roster and our 2 draft picks, our first and second round draft pick on here, who I'm assuming are going to make the team. No way Zachariah doesn't. And our second round pick, potentially he could, Nikola. But at point guard, we got Trae Young and Kobe Buffkin. He was our first round pick last year. We had a lot of hype around him. I think he went 16. He was either 15, 16, or 17. He was one of those 3. A lot of hype around him, but he was hurt for most of the year. We didn't really get to see what he gets to do. Shooting guard, we still got Bogey, really good option for us. We got Dyson Daniels, who Dyson Daniels was a part of the DeAndre Murray trade. He was the 8th overall pick 2 years ago, and he is one of the best on-the-ball defenders in the league. Man-to-man, he is really good at defense. Shooting, not that good. He is not good offensively, but he is very good defensively. I believe I saw statistics of him, and he is statistically one of the best point of attack defenders in the league. Then our forward situation with our strong forward and our power forward, we have a lot of forwards. We have a lot of length at the forward position. Both of our draft picks, first overall pick Zachariah and our second round pick Nikola, they're both forwards. Now, we have a lot of flexibility with our roster as well, which I will go over in just a second. Then at power forward, we got Jalen Johnson, Larry Nance Jr., who we just traded for, and 2 nobodies. And then at center, we have Clint Capella, Big O, and Bruno Fernando. Now, our forward situation, we can move up quite a bit. Like, I think Jalen Johnson is pretty much stuck there at the 4. But I've even seen some scenarios where maybe Jalen Johnson plays the 4 and Larry Nance plays center. I don't see that happening, though. I don't, but I've seen some people talk about it. How I truly think how the season's going to start out, if this is the team, which I don't expect it to be. Free agency hasn't even started yet. We haven't even signed anybody. We're going to sign people. Hopefully, big hopefully, the Atlanta Hawks could just not sign anybody. But if this was our current roster, I would say Trae Young's our 1, and that's the lock. We're not trading Trae Young. If anyone thinks we're trading Trae Young, I think you're out of your mind. There's no way we're tanking because we don't even have our first round pick in 2025. Pick swap in 2026. We don't have our own first round pick in 2027. The only reason you would tank is to get a player and have a low pick and have a good chance at lottery odds. We don't have our own first round pick. We're not tanking. We are not. Unless we trade Trae Young to the Spurs. That's the only trade I could see. But why would the Spurs want to give us back our own first round pick if we're tanking? That could potentially be Cooper Flagg, who's viewed as one of the best draft prospects in a very long time outside of Wemby, obviously, and Zion Williamson. Cooper Flagg's up there. Cooper Flagg is so good, he's already considered the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft, and he hasn't even played a snap of college basketball yet. He hasn't even played a minute of college basketball. So I just don't think we're trading Trae Young at all. Then shooting guard, we got Dyson Daniels and Bogey. Daniels is listed as a point guard. He's not going to be. He's a good defensive player, but it's going to be Trae Young. He's our 1 no matter what. Bogey could also start as a 2. I've seen rotations where it goes Trae Young at the 1, Zachariah at the 2, DeAndre Hunter at the 3, Jalen Johnson at the 4, and then Big O at the 5. That could very well be our starting rotation, and then we will have Bogey replace Trae Young, or Kobe when Trae Young needs to take minutes off. Dyson Daniels can be the 2. I could also see, we take out Zachariah and put in Bogey. Maybe Zachariah doesn't even start. We're assuming that Zachariah starts as a rookie, Bogey could be the starter and Zachariah could be the one coming off the bench. Or DeAndre Hunter towards the end of the season, he started coming off the bench. So we could have Trae Young as the 1, Bogey as the 2, Zachariah as the 3, Jalen Johnson as the 4, Clint Capella or Big OO at the 5. I really hope we trade Clint Capella. I think we will. We could also maybe not trade Clint Capella till the middle of the season. Who really knows? I think it just depends on if we can sign a center in free agency. With our current roster, we have options. We have flexibility, which is something I really like with the roster. The biggest issue that I have is we don't have a defensive big guy. We don't have a big defensive center. Clint Capella is not a defensive center. Big Double O, he tries his hardest. He's very athletic, but he gets fouled a lot. He's good, but we could just do so much better. We could just have a much better rim protector in there. He's got athleticism, just some people are just better defenders than other and just kind of know what they're supposed to do better. Just have that dog in them, and as much as I like Big Double O, we could do better at center. That's the biggest thing that stands out to me is we need a defensive center desperately. Really desperately. So we could even, because last season we had times where Clint Capella played center and Big Double O played 4. He's kind of like an Alex Sars in a way. We just need a true center. We just need an old school center. That's why I would have not complained at all if we drafted Donovan Clingan at pick 1 or traded back for Donovan Clingan, because he is a true defensive center, and I would have loved to have Donovan Clingan on the team. We drafted Zachariah. I'm going to wish the best for Zachariah. I'm going to hope that Zachariah does great. The Hawks seem to really like him. You got to have faith in the team. I'm not going to root for him to suck. I'm going to root for Zachariah to do good. But we will see what happens. We have so many flexibility. I'm not too worried about shooters. We got shooters. We got Trae Young. We got Bogey. Zachariah, that's his big thing, is he's a shooter. So we got 3 really good shooters in Trae Young, Bogey, and Zachariah. Our biggest issue now that DeAndre Murray has been traded is we don't really have a playmaker. Trae Young's our only playmaker. But when Trae Young's not on the court, who do we got? I remember the year that we made it to the playoffs and we made it to the Final Four when we made our conference championship run. We had Lou Williams. Lou Williams went off for us that year and just gave us phenomenal minutes when Trae Young was off the court. We need that. And maybe Kobe could be that for us, Maybe Kobe could develop into that. We didn't really get to experience that. So I could even see us maybe bringing in another point guard, a low-cost point guard who can give us valuable minutes when Trae Young isn't on the field. Because who's going to handle the ball? Like I said, I know we're expecting it to be Kobe, but what if it isn't Kobe? He was hurt last year. He didn't get to experience a lot of playtime last year. What if he's not? We might have to bring in another guy that can make shots, a shot maker, another guy that can create shots for other players. We need a playmaker. We need someone who is good at getting other guys open, like Trae Young, who is so good at passing and is so good at finding guys who are wide open. Zachariah, he's a catch and shoot 3 guy. DeAndre Hunter, he's kind of a catch guy too. We don't have separators. Bogey kind of can, but Bogey's really good at making threes. He kind of can create shots. We don't have a lot of shot creators besides Trae Young. We need to get another shot creator. And those are my 2 big issues. Our 2, our 3, and our 4, I think we're really good at. I wouldn't mind trading DeAndre Hunter. I truly wouldn't if we think that we can get someone better in free agency, which let me quickly go over now. I keep talking about free agency. So there are many good free agents. I'm not expecting Paul George, Tyrese Maxey. The first free agent that I really hope we get, Isaiah Hartenstein from the Knicks. Great defender, 7 foot tall. He's only 26 years old. And it's saying here that he's expecting a 4-year, $20 million contract or a 5-year, $100 million contract. That's more than Clint Capella. We could get a better defender who's taller and could be a great a great guy for Trae Young to lob the ball up to, and Isaiah, for cheaper than Clint Capella. If we can steal him from the Knicks, I would absolutely love that. Like I said, our biggest need center. The other center I really hope that we actually could get is Valanciunas. I know he's older now. I believe here it says that he's 32. He's either 31 or 32. He's not getting any younger. Yes, he's suffering injuries a little bit, but It's saying here that he's asking for about $15 million. Again, cheaper than Clint Capella and someone who can be a better defender. It says here that some of his biggest weaknesses is he's not as athletic as a younger center, so it's kind of harder for him to defend the perimeter. We have all these big wings. We don't need anyone to defend the perimeter. We have apparently Zachariah. We're going to develop him into a great defender. Dyson Daniels is a really good defender. We still got DeAndre Hunter at the end. We got these big-time wings now. Jalen Johnson. We got 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". We have big wings. We have big power forwards now. We are building a big team around Trae Young. We need someone in the center. We need a true defensive center that can stop guys from just literally going in for open layups with speed. We need someone who can be down low and defend big guys. We have no one who can really defend big guys right now. Someone with height. That's why I want Valanciunas. That's why I want Isaiah. I really want us to go get one of those two guys. I really do. Like, I also wouldn't mind another guard. I really wouldn't. Or if we really wanted to go out and trade DeAndre Hunter and sign a big forward, I don't think we're going to do it. But just imagine if, do I really want Tobias Harris? Probably not. I don't think I would. I don't really think I would want Tobias Harris at all. But, for example here, imagine if we trade DeAndre Hunter and sign DeMar DeRozan. And we have Trae Young as the 1, Bogey as the 2, DeMar DeRozan as the 3, Jalen Johnson as the 4, and Big O as the 5. That could be a scary team there. And then we got Zachariah coming off the bench. We would also have Dyson Daniels too if we wanted to go for a more defensive scheme. The perfect offseason for my mind, if we actually wanted to spend money, would be trade Clint Capella, trade DeAndre Hunter, and then get DeMar DeRozan and get Isaiah Hartenstein. Will that happen? No. Because something that I don't think Hawks fans understand is we don't sign anybody in free agency. Going back to our depth chart here, let's look at our 15-man depth chart. Trae Young, drafted. Well, I guess technically we traded for him. So, Trae Young, trade. Kobe, drafted. Bogey, we did sign in free agency in 2020. But then Dyson Daniels, trade. DeAndre Hunter, drafted. Our 2 other strong forwards, drafted. Jalen Johnson, drafted. Larry Nance Jr., trade. Clint Capella, we did trade for him. Big O, drafted. Out of all the guys that are actually going to get decent minutes on our team that I just mentioned, Trae Young, Kobe, Bogey, Dyson Daniels, our 3 strong forwards, Jalen Johnson, Clint Capella, Big O. Out of all those guys, the only guy that we actually signed in free agency was Bogey. And that was back in 2020. The entire team, the rest of our team, we either drafted or traded for. The Atlanta Hawks just don't go out and sign big free agents. Like even Murray, who we just traded, we got in a trade. The Atlanta Hawks only really trade for players that they like or draft players. So that leads me to believe that teams don't willingly want to come to Atlanta in free agency. Maybe the Hawks can't get free agents. And I know we're not getting DeMar DeRozan and Isaiah. Like, that's never happening. I can dream. A Hawks fan can dream, can't he? Can't I dream that we're actually going to go out and sign big free agents? The only thing I think for sure is happening, I think we're for sure trading Clint Capella. I know because he's just going to be luxury tax money. He just is. Luxury tax money for someone that's 30 and isn't really going to contribute to the team that much. I don't see it happening. I just don't. I think that the Hawks are definitely trying to win now. And I saw a lot of people say, oh, well, they're trading Murray. They're trying to lose. I don't think so. Clearly, Young and Murray wasn't happening. One of them needed to go. They picked Murray. And they stuck with Young. And I just really hope that they get a defensive big in there. I hope Clint Capella gets traded. I would love to trade him for a first, even if it's like a 2029 first. It'd be nice to get a first out of it. Hell, maybe just get a first and make it like top 4 protected or something like that. Who knows what we'll be able to get out of Clint Capella. I hope the team can develop. This has just been a kind of video of what has happened up into the point of the day before free agency, or I guess negotiations, and what I hope can happen. We'll see what this Atlanta Hawks team does. If you agree with what I've had to say, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.